Today I'm going to show you how the slab roller works. This piece of equipment is used for making flat slabs at a consistent thickness. So you'll see at the top here that the slabs go in one direction and come out the other, one direction only. These rollers have a motion that is engaged by this wheel on the side. So when I turn it, they'll roll one way and they'll suck the clay in and spit it out the other side. This knob controls the height of the slabs, so there's a ruler on the side here. If we're at eye level, we can tell exactly what the measurement is. So you'll notice the thread and bolt moving as I'm twisting it. This is making the gap bigger, making the slab thicker, and if I turn it the other way, it'll do the opposite. And behind this door in our studio, we have these canvas sheets. They're two pieces of canvas that are sized for the bed of the slab roller, and they're stitched together at the top. So I'm going to pull the one off for the red clay. We also have them for the stoneware. It's just nice to not get dark bits or light bits in your clay. So I'm going to stick that stitched part through and drape one of the halves over the top so I can slip the clay in between, kind of sandwiched in between the canvas so it doesn't stick to the rollers. And now I'm adjusting the height. I think I was making it 3/8 of an inch here. And I have some clay already wedged and prepped. I'm not going to show you how to do that, but the slab needs to be relatively thin. It can still be pretty chunky, but I'm going to taper one of the edges just a little bit because it needs to grab onto something. It's easier to get a smaller bit in at the beginning, and then it'll have an easier time pulling through the rest. So I'm just butting that right up against the rollers so that they can grab more easily. Might give it a little push while I'm rolling the wheel. So when I'm rolling, I'm trying to do that as quickly and consistently as possible. If I stop and start, there's going to be ridges on the slab that I don't want, but that's a pretty nice slab. You can see all the canvas marks on the surface of the slab. This is just bad form. It doesn't look good, and the slab needs some strength after it's been stretched so much. We've got a meme about it. So I'm going to go in and clean it up. I'm going to start by spraying a little bit of water, and then I'm going to go in with this serrated rib, and I'm going to etch the surface. I love this tool so much, I got a tattoo of it. So I'm going to come in one way, I'm going to scrape it diagonally. And it's good to do this from a few different directions, so I'm going to come in the other way. You can actually hear the clay stitching itself together. After that, I'm going to follow it up with a smooth rib. This is going to smooth down the surface, combine all the water, and make everything strong and smooth. This process is compressing all the clay inside as well as knitting together the surface and making it strong in both of those ways. And I'm going to do the same thing with this rib. I'm going to go in a few different directions, and this is just going to help it be stronger. After that side is finished, I'm going to flip it over and do the other side. Normally I would wait until this slab is a bit stiffer because as I'm flipping it now, it's so wet that it's stretching a little bit and getting rid of the uniform height. So normally I would wait till the slab's a little bit stiffer and it can take this flip better. But for the sake of expediency, we're going to do it now. Obviously there's the same canvas texture on the other side. So I'm going to do the exact same process on this side, first with the serrated rib and then with the smooth rib. So when I did this on the other side, I was using that red rib. It was a little bit too soft for what I needed it to do, so I'm just going to use the flat back end of this metal rib. And it's doing a better job at flattening everything out. This step is really important. If you think about what the clay just went through, it's just been stretched so much, from maybe 6 inches into 24, and so it's been through a lot. It's been pulled out, and it needs to sort of be unified again, be compressed in order to maintain its integrity and avoid cracking. So this is a really important step. It's compressing all the clay inside and knitting together the surfaces. It's very important, and it gets rid of the canvas texture. You can see that's a pretty nice smooth texture. So I'm happy with that. I'm going to take this template that I cut and just cut a tile out of it. This is a scalpel. It's a really sharp tool, nice for cutting. So I'm going to follow the outside borders and overshoot just a little bit because of the way the blade is angled down at sort of a 45. It's nice to have a little bit of extra on the edges there to make the corners nice. And I'm trying to cut just right straight directly down so that there's no bevel on the edges of the tile. So that's start to finish rolling a slab and cutting a tile. Here's what those edges look like. Really nice on one side. Could use some work on the other. We'll do that once it's stiffened up a bit. Now it's important to demonstrate good studio etiquette and put away the tools you used after you're done with them. Seems simple enough. Here's several takes of me trying to do that.
It's okay.
I want to do it again.
Okay, no problem. It's all good. Take it from the top.
Okay, great.
Perfect.
Ready?
Hold on.
Oh, sorry.
I might have screwed us up and not even filmed any of that. We're rolling. Okay.